Sit down. He's Mr. Ali Shop. He attended the services primary here. He's from America.
Yeah.
So
So as we continue on,
those who are 40
it's the part two off of the last video that I had made commentary on. Second part here, just continuing on with touring the classes.
So the last time I came to this school and I asked to this class and I asked for those who I need, nobody gave me his name or her name. So because of that, I find it very hard. And now I should have just write your name.
Yeah, look at the roof. That's the roof is covered up in like aluminum pans.
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're just walking around the school compound, visiting still, checking out the classrooms. Going to the next building here, with different forms. I think we were just going from, random forms. From 1, 2, 3, it was just random. Because we weren't really sure what strategies we were going to take yet. So we were just trying to get a feel of the students in the class. It's just explaining in class every time we enter each class, just telling the students who I am, that I went to the school when I was young, I think about 11, maybe 10 years old. And that I'm just returning, just to try to help out as much as we can as an organization. Once again on this day, I guess a lot of the classes was kind of empty.
So it's the other side, the same thing?
Because it was empty because I guess the holiday was right around the corner. So whenever there's a holiday, a lot of students tend to not show up for school. Or sometimes when they're just coming from the holiday back to school, students apparently are still in holiday mode, I guess. There you go. They're standing up to greet. Every time we enter the class, the students are disciplined to stand up and greet the visitor. That's what you saw there. That me and this gentleman here, he's a teacher in the school. He was very helpful. So he was very helpful in assisting us to visit these classrooms and talk to the students, which wasn't really much of a conversation in front of class, because a lot of students weren't in the classes that day. So it was just a brief introduction and a brief quick information for the students and the teachers in the class of the project that we're doing, and that we'll be returning back the following week. All right. So as we're walking here, pay attention to the environment too. Just look at the environment of how these schools are. Look at the schools. Look at on the left there. That's actually a classroom that we're going into now. It's built with what you call pan bodies. Just look at the environment. Study this environment, because this is the environment that I was also at. I attended this school. Just want you to get that understanding, for it to register that this is the place that I come from, and which is why I chose to try to do what I'm doing. Because all right, so he's gonna enter the classroom now. Okay, so same routine. He's gonna tell them same thing he told the previous classes, but in this particular classroom, I want you to pay attention. When we came to this one, this is actually not even a building. It was like a aluminum pan surrounded, and also in this class there wasn't a teacher there, and I was so surprised that by that. The students are basically just in the class with no instructor because the schools are short of teachers, because a lot of time some of the teachers are not on payroll because there's just not enough funds to pay these teachers. So in this class you can see it's me, the gentleman that's I was assisting us, and the camera guy. There was no one in the class to supervise the students. So that's an example of how these schools really need help, and hopefully we're trying to get some support, some people to sponsor us and help us with the funding, because we really need it. With these conditions, the schools really need it. So yeah. This is the environment here. Looks like I was walking. I had a little bit quicker, faster than my camera guy here. But just check out the environment here. This is the realities of a developing country, a very poor country. Because I'm gonna be blunt about it. Sierra Leone is a very poor country. There's no way around that. There's no way to explain it. Because sometimes I try to use different language to phrase it, so that way, because a lot of people have a misunderstanding and misconception about Africa as if it's all poor. It's not all poor. Okay, let's get that right. But when you're looking at the vast majority of people living in a lot of these poor developing countries, the ratio of the poor and the ratio of the rich wealthy areas, the disparity is just too big. There's just too many people suffering from not having anything because there's no jobs. But yeah, quickly here, the guy that just came, he was kind of running behind. That's my cousin. My cousin. I also look at him as my little brother too, because me and him actually grew up together. His name is Sheku Tarawali. He's actually also helping with the organization in Sierra Leone. So I appreciate all of them. My family members all have taken a role to actually be a part of what we're trying to do. So which is good. That's him right there. I'm walking with my cousin, blood cousin actually. So we're just walking, catching up. So this is the school compound too. This is the school that I went to. In this open area actually we just passed where we used to hold assembly. We used to hold assembly. But yep. So that open area right there is the assembly place that all the students will stand, and while the teachers and the principal will be having the morning assembly. But looks like my camera guy is a little behind here. Looks like he's loving the scenery where we used to have the assembly. All right, so these are just some of the marketers. If you notice, all the students are in class right now, so you don't really see any of the kids outside and so on. Here's the camera guy. He's showing himself some love too. He got to show himself some love, Mr. Emmanuel. All right, so we're just walking now to one of the the main classes where the head teacher, Mrs. Masako, who you're going to meet. Mrs. Masako was very instrumental. She played a very, very significant role as far as us trying to accomplish our mission with the services with this particular school. So once again, I'm in the class. Every time I enter the class, the students stand up and greet, and they are just disciplined that way. So Mrs. Masako is right here. Eventually, so I enter the class. Yeah. So just take a look at the students, right? So they're all sitting. Look at the space. How they are all sitting, right? Everybody is bunched up together in this one classroom. I mean, some of the students are even struggling to write because it's so congested. You know, they're all bunched up in a place that the space is very limited. You know, sitting space is very limited. So a lot of students tend to have a strain. They strain to even write because they are so packed up together. You know, there's not enough space for you to move, stretch, and you know, this is the realities of a developing country, you know, that hasn't developed yet. So you know, these are some of the subjects, the things that the students learn in school. As you can see, it's a universal thing. Math, English, writing. It's very universal of what you're learning, whether you're in Africa, Asia, North America, South America. Learning is very universal. The only difference is the tools that are given to students to learn. And a lot of those tools are not available in countries that are still developing. In countries that are still developing, like Sierra Leone, West Africa, they are in need very, very much of resources, you know, like the classroom sitting areas, for example. I mean, look at the conditions, you know. So these is definitely an experience that you know changed my life. It definitely did. Initially, because I left as a kid, so I was educated in a different environment. You know, I had all the tools given to me, all the opportunities. You know, so but hopefully, as time goes on, you can help us out and donate.